ESPN, Antoine Walker. Antoine, I don't know, kind of sounded like Giannis had a little staying power in Milwaukee. Did his post-game comments convince you that maybe he would stay with the Bucks moving forward?
Well, he should want to stay. It's unfortunate. Injuries are part of the game. He got hurt. I don't know if that would have made a difference in this series. They were not playing good basketball. But Giannis has a lot of individual accolades. He'll probably be back-to-back MVP award. He'll probably win the MVP this year. But the reason why the Bucks did not play well is that Giannis got exposed offensively. I think if people really watch this series, he's got a lot of work to do. And I know people are going to be like, why would you say that? That's hard because he's had so many great things happen to him. But he's gotten better every year throughout his career. If you look at his numbers and his stats, he has to get an in-between game. He has to get a 15-footer. He's going to have to get some semblance of a post-up game. He's worked really hard to be able to shoot a three-pointer. So I give him credit for that. And he's really bad from the free throw line. That can become a real problem. We saw LeBron James have problems at the free throw line, but LeBron tends to make some of the big ones. But Giannis has to get better. It's not solely on him. Obviously, the team, the organization is going to have to continue to put pieces around him. But Giannis really got exposed in this Heat series by a great defensive team with young, hungry bodies that they could put on him, smaller guys that he should have been able to take advantage of. But everything with Giannis is in transition right now. So he's going to have to figure it out, look at himself in the mirror. He's going to have an opportunity to make a ton of money. Chris Middleton showed that he's could be a good Robin in this situation. He's a 50, 40, 90 guy. He has to get better. And better for him is to be more aggressive. And then they have to make a decision at the point guard position. What are they going to do? Is Eric Bledsoe going to be your point guard because you signed him the big money and extension a year ago? I don't necessarily know if that's the answer, but they do got two main guys. They can compete at a very high level, and they got to continue to add veterans. Kyle Korver's getting old, so you're going to probably have to replace him. Marvin Williams is kind of towards the end of his career. So they got some work cut out. But for Giannis,
he's retiring.
Of course, he should stay there. He should stay there. Giannis should stay there and continue to build. But he has to get better individually. He got exposed this playoff series, and hopefully he looks at the film and sees the areas he needs to improve in.
So, a couple things. Listen, Giannis is one of my 4 favorite players in the league, but I'm going to tell you something that's not going to age well. Giannis back in December playing LeBron and the Lakers when he has a massive play in the 4th quarter and he crowns himself and says, "This bleep's mine now." That clip is going to look really interesting juxtaposed to him receiving his MVP trophy via Zoom because he's back home in Milwaukee while LeBron's en route to title number 4. But that's neither here nor there. Here's what Giannis's post-game comments meant to me. There is a 0% chance. There's a 0% chance he's demanding a trade this summer. So we know that now. And Milwaukee fans, that's the first sigh of relief. He's not going to demand a trade. He is going to play out the contract. Now, are we certain he's going to sign the extension this summer? The comments last night made it seem like he is. And I hope he understood that when he said those things last night. It made it sound like they are going to come to him with the supermax offer, nearly $250 million. And given his comments last night, you would expect him to sign on the dotted line. If I were Giannis, I don't know if I would do that early. I might wait and see how next year goes because there are 3 teams that we know are positioning themselves for Giannis. The Miami Heat, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Toronto Raptors. And what all 3 of those teams have that the Bucks clearly do not is a championship coach. Eric Spoelstra has got a couple rings. Nick Nurse just won one. Rick Carlisle won one a decade ago. So forget the fact that you could play with Luka or you could play with Jimmy or you could play with Pascal Siakam. I think Middleton and Siakam are about equivalent players. It is for Giannis's game to grow. Is it going to grow in Milwaukee? Because the last time we saw a guy win back-to-back MVPs, have his team with the best record back-to-back years, and not make the finals either year was LeBron in Miami, or LeBron in Cleveland. And he had to go to Miami for his game to grow, for him to get that post-up game, for him to evolve and mature. So I am not rooting for Giannis to leave, But Wildes, he made it sound last night like he's going to take the Supermax. If I were him, I'd want to see what the team does this next year, because that contract offer is going to be available to him whenever he wants it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he wasn't asked straight up, hey, are you going to sign the Supermax? And I know they got fined earlier this year for saying they were going to offer him the Supermax, one of the dumbest fines in NBA history. But I think the most surprising thing is that the perennial, they have a championship team. They get knocked out in the second round by the 5th seed. And it's probably a good day for Bucks fans. He's going to sign the Supermax. He looks around, and I think it's a bad day. There's going to be no Kareem Abdul-Jabbar storylines. I don't think he's going to go to the Raptors. I think it's a bad day for Masai. I think it's a bad day for all the people putting him in a Warriors jersey. I think it's a bad day for Pat Riley.
Well, that was always stupid.
He's going to stay. And, Nick, I think, I'm going to throw it back to you. He showed that there was a trust in the organization, not only when he said, hey, they cared about my safety. He didn't feel like he was going to hold anyone's feet over the fire and even say, like, we need to get better. Before I sign it, we need to get better. He was confident with the teammates, and he's confident that the team is going to get better. He didn't publicly demand that we need to make moves that we've seen people on the verge of signing the Supermax do before.
Yeah, and that's, I think part of that, Brandon, is, to be totally honest, who he is culturally. I think this is similar. You were saying early in the series, he needs to go to the coach and demand to play more minutes. Giannis is who he is personality-wise, and the other factor is Milwaukee is Giannis's American hometown. It's the only city he's ever lived in this country. And so I do think they have some structural advantages, Brandon, that lead to him doing something that would be kind of different than many stars in his position we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, you literally just laid my foundation for me to prove my point here. Giannis isn't going anywhere. There's 2 disturbing trends around American sports. Number one, we're seeing guys put their brand before ball. We're seeing guys, before they can make a basket or score a touchdown, try to figure out how they can make $1 million off the court, off the field. We're also seeing guys try to search for the perfect situation. Oh, it's not working out here, so let me just go to the next team. Giannis is not trendy. For that reason, in everything you said from a cultural fit, this is his American hometown. For that particular reason, Giannis isn't going anywhere. He's not a trendy player. He's not a trendy person. Walt, this reminds me of a guy you played with, Dwayne Wade.